friends and gamers. So I'm realizing in the last, because I've decided that I want to try and split up the kit reviews for each character, but we didn't really go over the Fate update stuff in this video. So, or in the last one. We did the kit review for Archer already because I just logged in and immediately got him. But we do have the other kit review then to do for Saber. So this is the character we don't get for free, we have to pull for, but everything I've heard, Archer's better. So like we might get a little shady. I don't hope we get shady, but like, we'll see. I also have no idea what's going on. I don't know anything about Fate. Fun fact. I know some of the memes, but that's about it. I keep telling myself I should watch it before the collab, and then I never did. So today we're gonna take a look at Saber, but just a quick, because I forgot, a quick little bit on the event itself. This will be going into the memoir, so you can play this at any given time. It is going to become permanent content. It will go into the backlog after the end of this 30 days here. So that's not a huge deal, but the rewards only have 28 days left. I might try to do it because I might try to still do it while it's running. I'm not sure. I might wait until 3.5 though, because that's the whole bit with this, is that we don't have the English voiceover for these characters. And until 3.5, that will not be integrated. With 3.5, they're integrating in the Japanese voiceover for these characters into the English dub. So right now I have the Japanese voiceover unlocked and loaded on the game so that we can hear them talk, because if not, they just will be strictly silent, even in the character trial screens. So there is that. I don't plan on pulling for Saber because I'm just still trying to get Final to come home, but Saber, if we really quickly go to the banners as well, you'll see here there's no end date in sight for these. I did talk about this in the last one, but the character pity and the light cone pity are separate, but they are entirely, character and light cone are separate from each other within this collaboration warp. However, they're also separate from each other. The character and light cone pity does not cross over. The pity also itself in general does not carry over. So a lot of people are thinking that how this is worded, we might be getting other collaborations down the road. I don't think that's the case, quite frankly, because it says the guarantee count for the collaboration warps are calculated independently of all other types of warps, and they do not carry over. There's nothing that says here we're getting other collaborations down the road and what will happen with if you have 5 pity at the end of this. That goes nowhere. Will it come back for the next banner? I'm not sure. It's not entirely out of the realm of possibility, because if you look at other, I think a game like Palia, there is event currencies tied to specific events, and when the event reruns, the currency is back. So you have your little fair passes or whatever, you have them from the previous run of that event. They're still in your account. You can use them for later. So I don't know, it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility. It's not impossible for the pity to carry over, but we're not sure. So it also just says it's available long term, so we don't know how long this banner will even run for. My personal speculation is that it's going to run until I think you're allowed to claim your free copy of Archer until 2 or 3 patches down the road. So I would assume the date, the end date they gave to claim that free copy of Archer, runs the same amount as these banners. So when that window ends, the banners will probably end as well. But again, we don't know for sure. Probably should take a look at their light cones, yeah? I didn't take a look at Archers, but maybe we'll start with this one. We'll start with Sabers. We'll see. So now that that's out of the way, I forgot I stood next to Jinyu and he's just there. Okay, let's, character trial, yeah? All right, Saber time, wind destruction character. We will see what the gimmick is and her whole deal. I'm also looking at the art. Archer doesn't have any of the other characters in his splash art, but Saber does. I don't know who this is on the end here, but we have Boothill, we have Aventurine, Robin, and I can't tell who this is all the way over here because the start trial button is covering the splash art. So what if we go to Warp? Can I see it better? Is it Jade? It might be Jade. I really can't tell. It's too fast. Anyways, let's start that trial, yeah? So, Saber! Ultimate deals massive damage, can obtain special charge points. Similar mechanic, I would assume, to Archer then, because he also has the charge points, but can obtain special charge points to restore large amounts of energy, and then surplus energy can be stored. We're running a team with Sunday, normal 4-star Tingyun, and Hua. So there she is. She's cute. I know nothing about her though. Look at her. She's actually kind of cute. All right, I kind of like her. She's cute. So what weapon is that? Just a wind sword? Yeah, that's a wind sword. Okay. Oh, wait, I want to see that again. Do it again. That's kind of cool. All right. Is her sword always wind? Is that something that is in the anime as well? I'm not sure. I mean, I would assume, but again, not really sure. I am enhanced. Let me just do that one more time because I'm not sure. Hello, monkey. Weakness time, baby. So let's do kit stuff. All right. Luckily, Saber's splash art isn't like weirdly all the way down at the bottom of the screen because Archer's he was like down here. Like, I don't know why they put him all the way down there. Oh, she's got a lot going on. All right. See, the thing with Archer's kit, very straightforward. Saber's, looks like she has more going on. Not saying it's rocket science just yet, but like, we might get there. Okay, yeah, 5-star wind destruction. We've already been over this. Her basic attack is called Invisible Air Barrier of the Wind King. This deals minor wind damage to one designated enemy, the standard used for a Star Rail kit. However, there is a second stage of this called Release the Golden Scepter. When she gains 2 core resonance, or I guess she does gain 2 core resonance and deals wind damage to all enemies. Yes, okay. If there are 2 or fewer enemy targets on the field when this ability is used, additionally deals wind damage to all enemies. So her attack can now suddenly do multi-target damage when no other Star Rail character can do multi-target damage. I think Phynon might be able to, and Casterus in a certain state. So I'm a bit confused here, but it's fine. We'll see it in practice in a hot second. Her skill is called Strike Air Hammer of the Wind King. Okay, it looks like the Wind King is going to be a through line here. Deals wind damage to one designated enemy and minor wind damage to adjacent targets. All right, we got some bounce going on. If energy can be fully regenerated by consuming core resonance after attacking, then increases the damage multiplier for this instance of skill based on core resonance points and consumes all core resonance after the attack, otherwise gains 3 core resonance points. I'm officially dubbing this kit rocket science. What does that mean? It means there's a lot going on and most of it's probably passive, but the way they describe it, it seems a lot more complicated than it actually is. So it's not necessarily rocket science exactly, like theoretically, or I guess theoretically, hypothetically, it's rocket science. Okay. Yeah, her skill, I feel like I need to see that in practice. Maybe I'm too tired for this. I don't know. Her ultimate then is called Excalibur. Deals massive wind damage to all enemies. Additionally, deals minor wind damage to random enemies, bouncing 10 times. So this is a true bounce. And it also enhances the next basic attack. So, all right, cool. Her talent is called Dragon Reactor Core. When entering combat, gains 1 core resonance point. When any ally target uses ultimate, increases the damage dealt by Saber and gains 3 core resonance points. Consuming core resonance will regenerate energy for Saber. Okay, so again, probably happening passively. Her technique then that we just saw is called Behold the King of Knights, and after using the technique, at the start of the next battle, she gains 2 core resonance points and increases attack. All right, I took in none of that, I feel like. So hold on, turn off the auto clear. There goes the monkey. Oh, see, having the monkeys here is kind of gonna suck because I can't use certain skills without getting like a reduction. So that sucks. Why do we have the monkeys on the trial, HoYoverse? What was the reason? Thanks, HoYoverse. All right, so I guess I just single target with Tingyun, and then we have Saber. So we'll try out her single target as well. 5k damage. I guess I'm using just single targets for a minute here because I can't support anyone because of the goddamn monkeys. What was the reason? See, I think part of the reason going into this, right? Part of the reason Saber might be ranked lower right now than Archer is just because her trial, they gave her a bad trial. And it's because of these monkeys. Because like, yeah, I could take the damage reduction, but like, you know what? We're gonna take the damage reduction on the blast because I want to see what it looks like. Like, I want to see what the blast looks like. It changed targets. Because if you use a skill, it's gonna change targets over to you. But I want to see what Saber's skill looks like. I'm sorry. Her blast is lit up. Is that because I did something? I think so. Ooh. She's not really even doing that much damage though. It's really just weakness break. Hold on, let me do a whole ult really quickly so I can heal Saber. I'm not liking Saber's kit as much because Archer's kit was very straightforward, but it did the job. So like, it's Sunday, I love you, Sunday. But I'm like mixed feelings with Saber's. Let's see her ult. Excalibur. All right, do the thing. Archer's was kind of meme worthy, so yeah, her line isn't as long because Archer had the whole really long like English line. I know that meme. All right, who do the AoE? Animation's really cool. Like the animation is really cool, very anime. 206,000 total damage on that ult. Archer's ult, I'm pretty sure did 222,000. So I've already seen the writing on the wall. Okay, I'm seeing that. All right, yeah, we'll double speed at the very least. Let me use these. Let's do some support ults because I do have my support ults ready to go. That I can do. So, oh, finally I'm free from the 8. Use Tingyun. I don't even know if I need to because it's just gonna give me more ult energy. So then we have this one ready to go. Oh, the enhanced attack because of the ult. I see it now, yes. Okay, so I can do that blast without getting KO'd by the 8. And then we have her ult again. Her charge is like faster than Archer's, I feel like. But yeah, that was 216,000, even with some supports there, yeah. I see why. I do see why people are like liking Archer more than Saber. It's wild, but I see the vision. I do. So there's that ult, or that again. Not ult, but it's the increase from the ult. Interesting. Interesting. All right. I don't know what this is. I didn't read. Like, is there damage like connected? Unsure. I didn't pay enough attention. Yeah, that's wild. I wonder if HoYoverse is gonna go, because that's the thing with Destruction has been like the go-to for main DPSs for a while here, but it used to be the Hunt. And Saber's Destruction, while Archer's the Hunt. Interesting. I'm also assuming that the Destruction, with Saber's kit, the Destruction thing she uses up is going to be her, the thingy thing. This core resonance points or something. That's technically the thing she absorbs. I didn't pay full attention, because that's the thing with Destruction characters is that they eat something to do better damage. And usually it's like skill points or something, but skill points is Archer's thing. Weird. Anyways, weird. Let's take a look at Eidolons though, just real quick. This is the pay to play section. I said it in the last one. This is weird, right? Because first of all, we don't have a window for when this is over. We don't know if this is ever going to be rerun, because I explained this with Archer, but HoYoverse has done collabs 2 different ways with other character IPs. They've either never had character copies, so like think Aloy Genshin Impact never had constellations and has never been run on a banner ever, has never seen the light of day since that collaboration ended. But with the like in Honkai Impact 3rd, we had an Evangelion collaboration a couple years ago, and because of like IP rules and like agreements and stuff like that, that event has never been rerun. The characters have never been rerun, and people want it to be rerun really badly, but they can't because they no longer have the rights for the game, or like I guess it'd be anime in this case. They no longer have the rights for the anime, so they can't do that. And because of that, the meta in Honkai Impact 3rd no longer includes those Evangelion characters. They have been nowhere to be seen. It's thundering outside, so like give me a second. Okay, so however, with HoYo collabs across HoYoverse games, like in Honkai Impact 3rd, characters like Sparkle and Fischl are still part of the meta, especially Sparkle. So, but obviously HoYoverse owns the IP rights for those characters. Sparkle has been rerun in Honkai Impact 3rd, so it's like a weird, I'm assuming it's gonna go more the route of like Horizon and Evangelion collabs, where this is not gonna see, these characters are not gonna see the light of day. They're not gonna be rerun after this. We don't know when the rerun is ending though, or like not the rerun, but like the original banners are ending. I said at the beginning of this video, I'm assuming it's going to coincide with how long you're allowed to claim Archer for free for, so take that with a grain of salt. But usually with character pay to play section, because these copies of the character, everything we just went through is E0. All of this, you have to pay for more copies essentially. And I recently found out how much people are paying, and I don't know if it's worth it, especially in a game like Star Rail, where the meta, like from week to week, the meta changes. So like, I genuinely don't think it's worth it to pull extra copies of a character if you're not sure if they're going to be using them like a couple of days from now. So obviously you do what you want with your money, but it's rough out there right now, and these characters are not cheap. So usually I'd recommend get like 1 or 2 Eidolons at most right now, if you even want them. And then when they get a rerun, if you're still using the character, then you can max them out. But first of all, main DPSs are like hotcakes in this game. They're constantly switching in and out, and there's new ones. Also, we're not getting a rerun. Like when this one's over, it's probably over. That there also is to say though, if it's over when it's over with these characters, they're probably not going to long-term be part of the meta at all. So I don't think you really need to worry about that either. They're really just kind of here to be pretty, quite frankly. Anyways, Eidolon time, anyone? Like I said, everything we just went through in the trial is at E0, 1 copy of the character. From here, it gets more expensive. So her E1 then is called the Lost White Walls. This is going to be 2 copies of Saber. This increases her ultimate damage dealt by 60%, and after Saber uses her basic attack or skill, she gains 1 core resonance. So this one's good. Like, I think with something like this, if it's just a general like damage increase, I'm like, that's not really worth it. But if it's a damage increase combined with something else, like there's 2 different things going on, I'm like, that's worth it. I think her E1 is probably worth it, because you have the ultimate damage increase and then the basic attack or skill thing. Her destruction kit is based off these core resonance points. So if you can get one, probably like, and it's after using her basic attack or her skill. So after she does really anything, because most of her damage is going to be the basic attack and the skills, the ultimates will be there, but like you're mainly doing basic attack and skill because the ultimate has to charge up. So like, that's actually pretty good. I think her E1 is better than Archer's E1. E2 then, or 3 copies of Saber, is going to be called the Lost Oath of the Round Table. She's got like an Arthurian thing going on, and I feel like I vaguely knew that, but anyways. For every 1 point of core resonance gained in this battle, Saber's damage dealt ignores 1% of the target's defense. Why just 1%? That feels like something that should like be leveled up later on, you know, like one of those things that it's like, you see a lot of like reverse kits where they'll be like 8% is damage multiplier or something. And it's like, oh, that's going to go up with portraits, which is a reverse 1999's version of like the pay to play copies of the character. So like the ignoring 1% feels like it should be buffed out somewhere else, but probably won't because it's a paid copy thing. Weird. But this effect stacks up to 15 times. When triggering the core resonance effect to boost skills multiplier, each point of core resonance additionally increases the damage multiplier for the current instance of skill by 7%. This might be a little bit rocket sciencey. When I say rocket science, what do I mean by that? Like I said earlier, it's just, there's a lot happening and most of it's probably passive, and how they explain it, they don't explain it well. So anyways, yeah, her kit's weird. How we feeling about E2? I don't know. I don't get the 1% thing is getting me. I don't think I would recommend it just because it's like, what does 1% do? It can stack up to 15 times. So then you get 15%. I still don't think 15% is worth it. That was like Archer had something that was like 20% damage increase. And it's like, or like damage resistance or something. And it was like, that doesn't, it's 20%. That's not a lot when you get right down to it. Like in the heat of battle, it might be worth it, but like it's only 20%. All right. And this one's 15 at most. 7, like, oh my god. Okay, a wish across 15 centuries. This is her E3, 4 copies of Saber. This is a means to an end. What do we mean by a means to an end? It means you don't need it. This is just to get you to pull for the next copy of the character, quite frankly. It's just to get you to go to E4. That's it. You don't need this. So this is ultimate level increase by 2 up to 15 and basic attack +1 up to 10. This is literally exactly the same as Archer's E3. May she rest in peace. I forgot to say that with Archer. This is exactly the same as Archer's E3, but they gave it a different name. That's exactly the same, in case anyone was curious. Anyways, E4, or 5 copies of Saber, is called the Saga of 16 Winter Days. This increases Saber's wind resistance I still don't, by 8%, and after using her ultimate, increases wind resistance by 4%. This effect stacks up to 3 times. Again, do we think it's worth it? I don't think it's worth it, because again, the stacks up to 3 times, so like 4, 12%, 8%, like the percentages just feel very small to me, especially after, not yesterday, but I believe the day before. When did I do, because I just did I have reverse in the brain because I just recorded a reverse patch video. I think I might have actually done that last night. I think I did it Friday night now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I forget what I recorded yesterday though, because I did record something. Oh, yesterday I did the Palea video. Yeah, okay, so that's why I was thinking about Palea too. But yeah, I just, like, after doing the reverse one, I'm looking at the percentage increases and decreases things on these kits, and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, these are very tiny. I don't know if they're worth it, especially for how much effort and money you're having to put into getting these extra copies of the character, and the fact that the power creep in this game goes insane. So like the amount of effort you're putting in to get extra copies of the character for like 8% increase, I don't know if it's worth it. Her E4 isn't worth it at the very least. Like your 1 or 2 maybe. Like 1, I feel like, yeah, okay, fine. Well, her 1 is good, and that might be the only one I recommend at this point, which is probably for the best considering how bad the power group is in this game. E5 then is called the Dreamed Utopian Dawn. This is going to be 6 copies of Saber. Another means to an end, which is unfortunate because the name for this one goes hard. Yeah. A skill level increase +2 up to 15, and talent level increase +2 up to 15. Again, Archer's was exactly the same. Most Star Rail characters are going to be exactly the same on E5 and E3. So it just so happens that Saber and Archer's E3 and E5 were literally to a T exactly the same. They just changed the name. E6 then, or 7 copies of Saber. This is a maxed out character here. This is like, you're paying at least $500. This is called the Long Faded Night. Wind resistance pen of the ultimate damage dealt by Saber increases by 20%. So you got something there at least. The amount of overflow energy that can be accumulated with the trace Blessing of the Lake increases to 200. Again, I can't click on Blessing of the Lake, so I don't know what the original is. We might go take a look at that, or let's go look at her traces. I gotta find Blessing of the Lake now. Saber can accumulate up to 120 overflow energy. See, I thought it would be 100 and then it would go to 200, but it's just like a 80. It's an 80 jump. So you go from 120 to 200. Okay, not as big of a jump as I thought it would be. After using her ultimate for the first time upon entering combat, so this is only procs once, it regenerates a fixed amount of 300 energy for Saber, but you can't keep some of that. I guess technically if her ult procs at 100, so you do your ult, it procs at 100. So basically you have immediately, it's taking, I guess it's just basically you have your ult at 100, it procs, so then that's cleared. You have another ult immediately after, but then you have, the theory is if you had absolutely no reserved energy of that overflow, you'd get a whole cap on the overflow as well, so you can ult 2 more times. I'm assuming? I guess that's the theory, but also if you have some energy already in the backlog, that 300 is just not even, like, you don't need the 300, that's like overkill. This effect can trigger 1 time after every 3 ultimate uses. I do like that it is like rollover, so you can use it more than 1 time. Like the effects of her E6, you can use it more than 1 time in battle. I was just talking about reverse. There was, I believe Hisabeth's kit, which is the currently running limited character in reverse. There's certain parts of her kit that only proc once, and if you get extra copies of the character, you can proc it twice, but it still only procs twice. So even if you're in battle for like 15 minutes, which is overkill on battle time, but still, you're only allowed 1 time, 2 if you pay some extra money. But here it is like it was rollover if you get her E6, so I do appreciate that, but it is E6. And how worth it is it to go to E6 for literally any character in this game at this point in time because the thing with Honkai Impact 3rd, the Evangelion collaboration characters, because they are no longer obtainable, they're like absent from the meta entirely. You never see them anywhere. Like, I forget they exist because it's been a few years at this point. I forget they exist. And then they'll like pop up and I'm like, oh, I forgot we had that in this game. So I honestly, truly, I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up happening to the Fate collab characters a couple, like 6 months from now, just because that's about how long this is going to be available for, or at least the free copy of Archer, so I'm assuming that's how long both banners will be available for. I'm not sure. It's very up in the air, very not necessarily weird, but it's also not something we're used to in this game, so I have no idea what's going to happen with it, and that for that reason, I'm like, I don't think I can recommend pulling Eidolons like at all. Maybe her E1 seems decent, but also like we don't know, and I guess because generally I do recommend, if you are a low spender or at least wanting to get multiple copies, I would say maybe end at E1. Don't even go to E2. Get her E1 and just be done. And then maybe get E2 if you want. Like, I don't recommend getting multiple copies because the meta in this game is like volatile. Like, you never, like, it's constantly changing, especially with DPSs. So I wish they would have done some support characters, because support characters have a longer shelf life in Star Rail. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think I recommend pulling any Eidolons. Similarly to Archer, I don't think I would recommend it just because it's not like reliable. Essentially, it's not reliable to pull for these copies of these characters and have them be like on your team 6 months from now. Like, it's not reliable. I know there's probably quite a few Fate fans coming in that are like, I'm gonna pull E6 of both these characters because I love these characters from my anime that I love. But if you are one of these Fate fans coming in and intending to pull for like E6 both these characters, don't do it. I'm telling you right now, you don't do it, because Star Rail does not work that way. With Archer, I was saying the amount, because his E6 is basically like you get more skill points. So like Sparkle. His E6 is Sparkle E0. So I'm like, hey, the amount of money you would spend going to E6 Archer, I would recommend instead taking that and getting an E0 Sparkle and an E0 Treeby. That's it. You can get a Sunday too. I love Sunday. Sunday is one of my favorite supports, and they were using Sunday with SABER. So I honestly, truly, the amount of money you would go to get, 5 more copies, essentially? No, 6 more copies of the character. The amount of money you would spend to get 6 more copies of SABER, I would instead just go in, get a copy of Sparkle, a copy of Sunday, a copy of Treeby, and maybe use the rest for Finon because he's cool, quite frankly. Because these 3 support characters have been in the meta for a while. Sparkle the longest here. I would just recommend doing that. Like, so if you were gonna max out the 2 Fate characters, here's my new recommendation for you. Instead of doing that, spend about half the money, not even, like a fourth of the money, get 1 copy of Sparkle for Archer, a copy of Treeby, just for anyone at this. Treeby you can use on anyone, quite frankly. She's just a good support. A copy of Sunday to use with SABER. And that's my recommendation, quite frankly, instead of getting other, because these supports have rolled over for multiple patches. They've been in the meta for multiple patches. That's what I'd recommend doing. I forget who we're getting the reruns on with the next half of the patch, but maybe we can check here. It would be in notices. Where is that? Version info. Maybe it's here. I'm just like, where is it going to pop up? Because like, this is mainly for new players who are playing because of the Fate collaboration. This is just the better. Okay, I closed it. Awesome. This is just what I would recommend doing instead, quite frankly. And I just forget who the rerun characters, because I believe there's more supports being rerun on the next half of the patch. I love Finon. Okay. I don't think... Where can I find this information in game? I don't want to leave the game. It's actually probably over here because it'll be up here. Oh no, it's not showing the ones that are coming soon. It's in less than a week. Come on. Come on. I gotta open up are these characters in the databank? Let's find out. Where would they be in the databank? Because how it works is that the characters go like, these are the Amphorius characters. These are Panaconi. Then we have the Lawfu. Okay, weird. Oh, okay, so I have Archer. So he would be, where did they put Archer? Oh, up there. Okay. Weird how they put Saber after Kafka. Weird. Okay, anyways, there's a faction in other worlds. There's Saber. I'm curious, who are we getting next week? I must know before I end this video. Have they announced it? Oh, obviously they announced it, but I'm just gonna have to scroll a lot. There's a lot of scrolling. I don't know if they've announced phase 2. They're probably gonna announce it like right after I record this video, by the way, like literally probably tonight. All right, yeah. So phase 2, the reruns are going to be Firefly, Jinglo, and Blade. So these are all like DPS characters. I really like Firefly though. So anyways, that was the Saber kit review. Yeah, we'll do the event eventually. I'm still, because I've heard a lot of mixed reviews on the Fate event. So I'm thinking more, so I probably won't do it immediately, but I'll probably do it next patch, because fun fact, if you're playing with the English voiceover, as of next patch, the Japanese voiceover, I believe, for the Fate characters, I don't know why they didn't do it in this patch, because this is like the main event patch, like the main event for this patch. But as of next patch 3.5, there will be, instead of the characters being silent when they have the English, they will just instead, they'll just use the Japanese voiceover. So I'm thinking I might at least save it to do until 3.5, but I'm not sure because I need Finon polls. So we might do it sooner and I might just read the parts myself. So yeah, that's it for this video. Is the Fate collab a mess? A little bit, just a little. Just a little, but I will say this might just be a Star Rail thing for collabs, like the Star Rail collab curse at this point, because the Star Rail collaboration in Honkai Impact, literally they own the rights for these characters. I didn't like it. I never finished the event for the Star Rail. Fun fact, I never finished the event for the Star Rail Honkai Impact collaboration because I didn't like it. And I love the Honkai franchise. So if that, I think just Star Rail is cursed when it comes to collabs, quite frankly. It's the Star Rail collab curse. I've dubbed it. Unfortunately, that's just an unfortunate truth at this point. But that was the Saber kit review. She was not immune to the curse. Anyways, that's it for this video. If you like this video, make sure to give me a like down below, as well as subscribe for more and click the little notification bell to be notified when I upload new ones. Without getting too shady, what does everyone think about Saber Honkai Star Rail specifically? And should I watch the Fate anime? Probably. You guys don't even need to answer that one. I should probably just go watch it. But like I said, I've been on an audiobook kick, so like I haven't watched any anime in like weeks. But as always, I hope everyone is having a super lovely day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys!